I thought about doing a breakdown of the trailer for season 4 of Rebels. I just got through watching the Jedi Council from the guys over at Collider from yesterday, and they mentioned a couple of things in regards to Ahsoka and what form she may take on this year in season 4. I also had an opportunity to review a video by Star Wars Explained, by Alex over at Star Wars Explained, where he also reveals his thoughts on Ahsoka and what form she may take in next season's show. So I wanted to kind of address my thoughts on that. And incidentally, any of you who have know what that theory is, and I believe Collider and Alex have the same theory, or it was mentioned on Collider, that same theory. I actually believe that's probably a very accurate theory in regards to the form that Ahsoka is going to take for next season. So I'm going to give my thoughts on that. And then, of course, we're going to address a couple of other things that we see here in the trailer. So let's get a look at that trailer here, guys. So starting off with the Lucasfilms.
It was a simple
then
story.
Of course we have Hera
About a boy who was lost.
telling the story from her perspective, which is
And a
really,
girl
really
who was
interesting,
broken.
and could be very telling
They
to
fought
what
alongside a survivor.
the conclusion of this season
war
is going to
veteran.
be. She could be telling this
And
story
fallen
to someone.
knight.
And that could be what this whole
I led them
sequence
into battle.
for the series as a whole is all
So
about.
terrible. It tried to black out the stars.
So of course, they're
We fought for each
rehashing
other.
images from last season.
We fought for those who could not. But we never imagined it would end like this.
Okay, right here with the wolf, first right off the bat. Now, as I had mentioned in my introduction, there is a theory going around in regards to Ahsoka and what form she's going to take. And also, guys, let me also mention there are going to be spoilers, if you will, even though they are only theories at this particular moment, but there may be potential spoilers here in this video. So I do want to caution those who do not want to be spoiled on any of the information that may be revealed here or may come true for the season 4 episode of Rebels. I want to warn those individuals now, so you might want to stop this video and save it for another time. But again, here in the shot of the new footage for season 4, we have a very large wolf. Now, those of us who are familiar with Filoni and his love for wolves know exactly why he has decided to put this particular animal here in the series. And for those individuals who, and I forget when Filoni had discussed the missing episodes or unfinished episodes for the Clone Wars series, there were actually plans to have Ahsoka riding a very large wolf in one of the episodes that again was not completed for the Clone Wars. And if you, I believe there is a video somewhere on YouTube in regards to that, so you might want to research that or search that out if you want to know what that whole story is about. I don't want to spoil that for anybody who has not seen or heard that information. But here, again, we have a very large wolf that is depicted here with Ezra and Sabine. Now, the other thing here is that if you remember from last year's panel at Star Wars Celebration, and Filoni addressed Ahsoka's ambiguous fate in regards to a series of top cards that were created by Filoni, drawn up by Filoni, and of course they were very vague, just a series of pictures of Ahsoka wading through water, seemingly in an underground passage. There are several of the carnivore or the little owls that are frequently associated with Ahsoka, especially here in Rebels. That same animal can also be associated with the Daughter of the Force from the Mortis episode from the Clone Wars series. So there is a connection there as well. But getting back to those series of top cards that Filoni designed, kind of giving us an inkling of Ahsoka's fate, but not really giving us a full explanation. Well, again, Alex over at Star Wars Explained channel has a very, very good video in regards to his thoughts on what Ahsoka's fate is and what form she may take in this new season of Rebels, which I'm going to go ahead and reveal right here now. So again, guys, this is a potential spoiler, but there are many of us who believe that Ahsoka is going to take on the form of this particular wolf right here. Now, as Alex had explained and does a really good job of explaining in his video, there is a particular card that shows Ahsoka kind of stepping through this portal, if you will, if I'm remembering it correctly. And then on the border around that image of Ahsoka, there are several wolves in a running motion. So if we take that particular card at face value, I think you can put a lot of stock into this theory that Alex and also some of the guys on the Collider channel believe in regards to Ahsoka appearing as this particular wolf in season 4. I believe Riley pointed that out, if I'm not mistaken, or it may have been Ken who pointed that out. I'm not quite sure. But obviously this is a theory that's going to gain a lot of traction. And my estimation that this is probably about 95% true, if not, I might even go as high as 99.9% that this is actually going to be the case with Ahsoka, just judging off of the top card, the images on the top cards, and then of course this mystical wolf appearing here in episode 4, and then of course we all know that the wolf is a favorite character of Filoni, and then of course we also know that Ahsoka is Filoni's baby. So if you want to connect all the dots and put that all together, I think it's safe to assume that Ahsoka is going to take on this form of the wolf. Now, my thoughts on that. I don't know quite how I feel about that, because we're obviously not seeing it in the full context of the story itself. I would like to. We're most definitely going to need an explanation on how she has made this transformation to the wolf from her physical appearance. Of course, we did not get to actually see Ahsoka's demise, if it was in fact her demise in season 2, but we can almost safely say that she probably did not survive her battle with Vader if she has in fact transformed into another form or become one with the forces, which is basically what this particular theory is stating, that she has become one with the Force and has taken on a different form in which to help and assist the rebels with their quest. So again, getting back to my feelings on that, I'm not sure how I feel about that at this particular moment. It could make very good sense, especially depending on if they can somehow attach it to the Daughter of the Force and the Mortis episode. If they can somehow connect those dots to it and explain, use that to help explain her transforming into this particular form or taking on this form. I believe it could make a lot of sense. The downside of that is the fact that we did not actually get to see Ahsoka's fate, which is a bit of a letdown. But the hope is that at some point we will get a full explanation on Ahsoka's battle with Vader and what her fate was. It would have been nice to actually see the conclusion of that battle. And if Ahsoka was in fact taken down, it would have been nice to actually see that here in animated form or in live action form if they decide to visit that, and perhaps in a flashback in one of the standalone movies or what have you. In any form that we can get that, it would be nice to see that. But at this point, it doesn't look like we're going to get to actually see her fate in any form, whether it be animated or live action. So that's my thought on that, guys. If you weren't aware of that theory, again, just to recap, the popular theory at this moment that the new form that Ahsoka is going to take is going to be that of the mystical wolf that is seen here in the trailer. So now continuing the trailer, so we have the wolf. We have our TIE defenders chasing after the ghosts. Here we have Ezra. Of course, we're going to see Yavin. I'm going to pause it right here where the Mandalorians and Ezra and Sabine are popping up. So getting back to things that we're going to see in season 4. Obviously, we're going to see Yavin 4. Probably visit there quite frequently because now this is the new base of operations for our rebels. Again, Rebels has been doing a very good job of setting up everything for as far as the rebels coming together, and these cells are making up a larger rebellion, and I think we're going to get to see that larger rebellion here, and also get to explore Yavin 4 in a manner that we have not been able to do so in any of the live action films. So that's very exciting. So continuing on with the trailer, again, as I mentioned here, we have Sabine and her clan of Mandalorians, the Ren clan, here with Ezra. So we know we're going to get a lot of Mandalorians here. Obviously got a shot of the U-Wing. Now, also, again, continuing on with the characters that we're going to see here, new characters that we're going to see, and some characters that we've already seen here in Rebels. Again, we're going to get to revisit Saw. He's already looking a little bit older and grislier here in the video. If I click back, get back over to that particular part. So again, Saw will be returning, and we're probably, hopefully, the Rebels will do a very good job in filling in the gaps on what happens to Saw and why he is in the physical form that we see him in Rogue One. For those of you who saw Rogue One and know what his physical form is at that particular point. And then also one of the characters that many of my subscribers know that I'm a big fan of, and that is Bo-Katan. I originally thought that she would be Sabine's mother. However, that proved not to be the case. However, it looks like she is going to be a very huge factor in season 4 and what happens with the Mandalorian. As a matter of fact, there's another shot later on in this trailer that's really telling into what Bo-Katan's role is going to be going forward with Mandalore and Sabine. So we're going to get a look at that once that particular part of the video comes up. But again, we here have Bo-Katan, who is now showing up in Rebels, which is very, very exciting. So continuing on, and right here, I'm going to pause it right here as well. And this is a brand new character that Filoni discussed on the Rebels panel. And actually, I take that back. He's not a brand new character. He's actually a character from Legends who goes by the name of Rook. And I hope I pronounced that correctly, because I know I did not do so in one of my other videos. But this is going to be Thrawn's, well, this was Thrawn's bodyguard in Legends, and is a very, very important and central character in regards to Thrawn. Now, I'm not going to reveal why that is, but those of us who are familiar with the story of Legends and Thrawn's story in Legends know why this particular character is so important. But this character will be voiced by Warwick Davis, which is very, very exciting, a long-time Star Wars contributor. For those who know who Warwick is, he originally played the Warwick, I forget the, I think it's Wicket that he plays, which is one of the Ewoks from Return of the Jedi. And then, of course, he's been with the saga films ever since, playing various different roles in almost all of the movies since then. He even has a very cool cameo in The Force Awakens as well. So very exciting news to have Warwick on board as one of the voice actors for Rebels in this final season. And I'm sure he's going to do a lot more voice work for Filoni and his team going forward with the animation and things to come from the animation department. And we're going to discuss that as well later on in this video. So again,
As long as we're together,
we have some very exciting characters.
These will go down fighting.
Sabine, looks like we're going to get plenty of space battles.
It's time.
And then, of course, here, which was discussed through in the panel, and I thought it was absolutely funny. But in regards to our good friend and pal Callus, he is looking a little different this season. And I wasn't even aware of this, but in that final episode, or that one episode where we find out that, or the Empire finds out that Callus is in fact Fulcrum, Callus kind of, after he's beaten and tortured, he kind of gets that little bang right there, that one bang that hangs off his head, and all of a sudden we get hashtag Hot Callus, which has gone viral. So now we get a brand new look for Callus based off of that. Again, Filoni did mention that in the panel, so obviously that was a bit of an inspiration for his new look here in Rebels, and it drew quite a cheer. If you saw my crowd reaction to the Rebels trailer that was in regards to the panel that was streamed to us, so this was one of the larger reactions in that particular viewing of the trailer. So very exciting stuff, and it's going to be interesting to see what Callus's role is going to be with the Alliance going forward, and how long he actually survived. Because remember, there was a lot of us who didn't think that he was going to survive last season, and apparently he has. Obviously he has, and he's going to. Looks like he's going to be a very big part of the rebellion and the Alliance going forward. So really interesting to see that as well. So going along with the rest of the
balance, Ezra.
trailer here,
We will
exciting
need to be
stuff.
Jedi.
Also looks like they're going to be visiting Adelon as well. There was a shot there, and I apologize, I kind of skipped over it, but there's a shot there of Adelon. It looks like Thrawn may be going back for whatever reason. The speculation is that he may be going to somehow try to capture the Bendu, or something to do with the Bendu. I think Thrawn may have become intrigued with the Bendu after seeing him, and after the Bendu kind of somewhat revealed to him what his fate might be. So I can very much see Thrawn being intrigued by the Bendu and wanting to not only search him out, but probably capture him, which looks like that may be the case.
So we could be here
And then, of
now.
course, right here in this
When
particular shot,
Lothal
we do
needs
have
us
Thrawn.
most.
Looks like he's on the call. We do have our X-Wings All right, so I wanted to address this particular scene right here, specifically in regards to Bo-Katan. As you can see, she is raising the darksaber there. And then also, this scene contradicts what we saw in the first episode. Those of us who had an opportunity to see the episode, I can't reveal what that contradiction is, as it will spoil that episode for you, unfortunately. So I do apologize. But to continue on with the trailer, Wide Wings, May the Force be with you with Hera. And that is the end of the trailer. So some really exciting stuff coming up for season 4, guys. But I just wanted to give my thoughts on the trailer and kind of break it down a bit since I haven't had an opportunity to do so since Rebels. So I want to thank you guys very much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and may the Force be with you always.